Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. So this morning it is July 6th, 2023, which means, yes, we will be reading from Proverbs chapter 6. I'm looking at the very first section of Proverbs chapter 6, and it deals with borrowing money. It's one of those subjects that most pastors don't want to talk about. And quite honestly, every time I talk about it, I get people angry with me. And every time I talk about it, I have to look at myself in the mirror and say, you still have work to do. And I understand that. But here is a truth that's absolute. God does not want you or me to have debt. And when we're forced to have debt, he expects us to do whatever it takes to get that debt taken care of as fast as possible. So I'm going to read verse 1 through 5 today, and then we're going to have a quick conversation about it. My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, or you've entered into an agreement with a stranger, you have been trapped by the words of your lips, ensnared by the words of your mouth. Do this, then, my son, and free yourself, for you have put yourself in your neighbor's power. Go humble yourself and plead with your neighbor. Don't give sleep to your eyes or slumber to your eyelids. Escape like a gazelle from a hunter, like a bird from a fowler's trap. Solomon is giving advice to you and I. He's telling us that we need to be willing to live this life in a correct way. Unfortunately, the world tells us something completely different than that. It tells us you can't live without taking out a loan. You can't buy a car without taking out a loan. You can't buy a house without taking out a loan. And maybe that's true. And maybe that's true. But Solomon doesn't say that it's necessary to pay cash for everything. What he says is it's necessary to do whatever it takes to get it paid off. So, if you're willing to take a loan, that means you're willing to go without the vacation. You're willing to go without the extras until you get the loan paid off. I know that's not what people want to hear. I deserve to take my vacations. I understand. You do deserve to do that. And if you want to take a vacation, then don't take a loan. If you want to take a loan, then don't take a vacation. Because the reality is, as long as you're under the oppression of that loan, you are in bondage. And you're trapped by it. And you're not free to do what God would have you do with his money. Yes, it is his money. He wants to provide for you. God will provide. His timing sometimes is way too long for me. So I'm guessing it's too long for you. But he will provide. I have a couple of debts that I still have to pay off. A couple of credit cards that we charged up several years ago when I was going through my cancer treatments. And honestly, we had started using our credit a little bit unwisely just before that. And so we have a little bit of debt that we still have to clear out. But we're still working the process of paying it off. And we know that it hangs over our heads every week, every month. We have that there. Now, we have regular bills. That's different than debt. A regular bill is different than debt. You have to provide for your regular bills. And if you have debt, that hangs over top of all of the others. Because if you have debt, that means they can come and demand it of you. Now, most people don't think about it that way, but it's always written into every loan agreement. Every time you borrow money, it's written into the agreement that they can come and demand it of you if they want to. They don't because they would prefer to collect the interest from you, but they have the right to, and that's always hanging over your head. So remember that today. Maybe you are under a load of debt, and it looks like it's impossible to get out of. I'm going to make a recommendation to you. Check out the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University. Find one near you. Get yourself signed up for it. It will cost you, and you should pay the money to do it. And start working the process. It's a tool. It's not God. It's a tool. He uses God principles, and he will probably use this portion of Scripture as one of his references. No, probably he will. And it will be painful. But if you do it, you'll start to see God change your life. Again, one tool, not the only tool. It's a tool I used, so I can recommend it. It's useful. It's helpful. I ran a business for 11 years without any debt to that business because of it. And it was successful. It can be done. So, that's my recommendation for you. If Solomon, the wisest man in the world, thought that was good wisdom for his children, then me, a nobody, thinks it's good wisdom for you as well. And me. Yep, I got to apply it as well. I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Yarn. I love you both, and I appreciate your faithfulness. Sometimes I don't get these messages right away. I know that they were popping up as I ended yesterday. Went back to try to find them, and unfortunately the live chat isn't there when I go back to it. So I've got to figure that one out. Yes, Rhonda, I know the process was difficult. Rhonda says, if you can't see this later, you may even cry during the process if you don't understand it completely. When we went through the Financial Peace University, it was difficult at first for her, but she's been watching us reap the benefits of it since then. I love y'all. I hope you have a great day. God bless.